For decades, Bakhmut was a quiet, unassuming city in Ukraine's Donbas region, home to salt mines and a sparkling wine factory. It was a place of ordinary lives, untouched by the shadows of grand geopolitical ambitions, but its strategic position, a vital crossroads, would seal its fate. In the initial months of the full-scale invasion, Russia's grand ambitions of swiftly seizing Kyiv faltered. Faced with fierce Ukrainian resistance and significant setbacks, Moscow was forced to recalibrate its strategy. The focus shifted decisively to the Donbas region, Luhansk and Donetsk, territories Russia claimed to be liberating. This was to be a grinding, attritional war aimed at securing these industrial heartlands. After the embarrassing beginning for the land of shadow, the failure around Kyiv, Russian strategy became about consolidation in the east. They wanted to take all of Donbas, but their conventional forces had taken heavy losses and they needed a new approach, a new spearhead for this brutal grinding fight. This is where the Wagner group stepped out of the shadows and into the bloody spotlight. While they had operated as Russia's deniable proxy in places like Syria and Africa for years, the Donbas and soon Bakhmut would become the epicenter of their Ukrainian operations. Wagner offered a brutal solution to Russia's manpower problems. With regular army units depleted, Prigozhin was granted an unprecedented level of autonomy and access to an unconventional, seemingly inexhaustible new source of recruits, Russia's vast prison population. The decision to use Wagner in the war, and specifically to allow them to recruit convicts, was a clear signal of desperation from the Kremlin. It was a trade-off. In exchange for bodies to throw into the meat grinder, Prigozhin gained immense power, resources, and a terrifying freedom to operate with impunity. Wagner was no ordinary military unit. They were a shadow army of scum, a private force operating outside conventional command structures. Known for their extreme brutality and war crimes, Bakhmut would be their ultimate proving ground. As Russia's formal military structure grew increasingly fragmented, Wagner became its spearhead in the east. Prigozhin's growing autonomy and ambition placed him at odds with Russia's defense ministry. His battlefield prominence would eventually give way to political fallout, culminating in his brief mutiny in June 2023.
Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I ended up in this situation.
What unfolded in Bakhmut became known as the meat grinder from its sheer attrition, relentlessness, and brutality. For months, wave after wave of Russian forces, overwhelmingly comprised of scum released from Russian prisons, and Wagner mercenaries attacked. Their tactics were simple yet horrific. Overwhelming numbers, frontal assaults, with utter disregard for human life, especially for the lives of their own forces. By August 2022, the full fury of Russia's new strategy, spearheaded by Wagner, turned towards Bakhmut. What began as a strategic advance quickly devolved into something far more savage, a battle of attrition designed to grind down the enemy through sheer, overwhelming force. The initial assaults were relentless. Day after day, week after week, Russian artillery pounded Ukrainian positions, firing thousands of rounds, turning the landscape around Bakhmut into a scarred, moon-like expanse.
Defending the city at this moment are units of Ukraine's 58th Brigade. In Solidar is the 93rd Brigade, a veteran unit that has redeployed after victories elsewhere. And in the south is a mixture of the 4th Rapid Reaction Brigade and 30th Mechanized Brigade, both of which fought in the battle for Kyiv, and the 112th Territorial Defense Brigade. Exact Ukrainian troop numbers are hard to come by, but they're outnumbered at least 2-to-1 throughout the battle. Leading the Russian attack is Prigozhin's Wagner group, thousands of battle-hardened mercenaries with a well-worn reputation for war crimes of the most depraved sort. At this point, Wagner numbers around 20,000 troops, but it quickly doubles in size as Putin gives Prigozhin permission to recruit convicts from Russian prisons. He targets murderers and violent rapists, offering them freedom in return for just 6 months of fighting. Unbeknownst to them, he's planning to use them as cannon fodder in human wave assaults.
Погибнуть всем! Знайте одно! Нас, мать Россия, никогда не забудет!
And meanwhile, further south of Bakhmut, They've been attacking Bakhmut now for 4 or 5 weeks. And even if Bakhmut falls, if the Russians lose Kremenna, it won't do them any good to take Bakhmut. So we keep asking ourselves, why is it so ferocious? Because the Wagner group, the mercenary group who work for the Russians, have taken on Bakhmut as their target. And this is all because they're also trying to make a political point that we can win at Bakhmut. And the leader of the Wagner group now is a man called Yevgeny Prigozhin. And Prigozhin has said in the last couple of weeks, he says, we're using Bakhmut as a meat grinder to pull in Ukrainian troops and kill them. And of course, that's the exact opposite of what is happening, because the Russians are losing so many troops at Bakhmut, and it's all to do with the Wagner group's ambition to take one city that they can show to the Kremlin is our victory. You can't win victories anywhere else. We, the Wagner group, we win a victory at Bakhmut.
It's a frightening insight, isn't it, to the mentality of the Wagner group?
It is. And Prigozhin, the leader of the Wagner group, is a very, I was going to say interesting man. I mean, he's a criminal. He's been done 9 years in prison himself for robbery. He set up the Wagner group a while ago. And the Wagner group works in Africa and Syria. He admitted on the 7th of this month that, yes, of course, they interfered in the American elections in 2016 and 2018. And the Wagner group recruit people from the prisons. And so we've got video of him in September of this year at the Mariel prison east of Moscow. And he makes a speech to the convicts there. All these convicts are there for murder or violence, so they're there for a very long time. And he makes a speech that sounds like something straight out of the film The Dirty Dozen, you know, the old Hollywood film. He says, only God can get you out of this prison in a coffin, but I can get you out today. If you sign up with me, we will feed you, we will train you, and then we'll put you on the front lines. And if you retreat or you disobey an order, we'll shoot you, out of hand, no questions asked. And if you're still alive at the end of 6 months, you're free. You're free to go. And that's the offer he's made, and more than 20,000 convicts have signed up and are now fighting with the Wagner group. And they are dying in high numbers in Bakhmut.
The initial thrust came from the south and the east, particularly from the captured town of Pazna. Wagner's mercenaries, fresh from that brutal victory, began pushing westward, targeting the villages that formed Bakhmut's outer defensive ring. The initial phase was defined by immense preparatory artillery bombardments, tens of thousands of shells a day, trying to obliterate any Ukrainian defences before their infantry even moved. It was about creating a fire corridor through which their assault groups could advance. In the early stages, Ukraine's defense of the city relied heavily on small, mobile units operating with flexibility and local knowledge. Instead of committing large formations to static positions, Ukrainian forces used maneuver warfare tactics, counter-attacking along the flanks and maintaining a fluid defense, designed to slow and exhaust the attacking forces. Russia responded by escalating the intensity of its assault. Wagner Group mercenaries and newly recruited convicts launched repeated frontal assaults, often suffering heavy casualties for minimal gains. Despite these pressures, Ukrainian defences held through the late summer and fall. Early Russian attempts to seize the city directly were repelled, leading to a drawn-out battle of attrition.
То, как мы расходуем личный состав в целом ряде частей, это кошмар на самом деле. Вот Настя Белка, у нее был эпизод видео, там обращения, там сборы и так далее, очень тяжелое видео. И она рассказывает историю просто. В числе прочих грузов они привезли небольшое количество мешков для трупов. И говорит, там была плохая очень ситуация, то есть там с той стороны люди решили, что им привезут много. И тут они приехали, немножко выдали. Ну и, короче, там нехороший разговор был с военнослужащими. И говорит, мне потом один звонит. Ну, и говорит, вы нас извините. Он говорит, мы просто устали их отстирывать. Мешки для трупов. Мы очень устали их отстирывать.
Ну давай. Куда по посадке?
На максималках. Ну, расстраивайтесь, пацаны.
Ukrainian defenders, though outnumbered and outgunned, dug in with incredible resolve. These were not prepared defensive lines. They were hastily constructed strongholds in open terrain, constantly under fire. Every trench, every dugout, every strong point became a desperate, temporary bulwark against an enemy that seemed to have an endless supply of men and ammunition. After the barrages came the infantry. This wasn't about sophisticated maneuvers or combined arms. This was brute force. Wagner's storm detachments, often comprised of recently recruited convicts, would emerge from the smoke and dust, pushing forward in tight, dense formations. They came in waves, sometimes 10 or 20 men at a time, moving directly into Ukrainian fire. Their primary purpose was to draw out defensive positions, exhaust ammunition, and identify weak spots regardless of the cost.
The sheer number of bodies, particularly of Wagner's own men, was unlike anything I'd ever witnessed. It wasn't just fighting, it was slaughter, a deliberate exchange of lives for ground, inch by bloody inch.
In the meat grinder of Bakhmut, Wagner's tactics were a horrifying testament to the value they placed on human life, or rather, the lack thereof. Their signature method became the human wave assault. Wagner's human wave attacks were incredibly primitive, but brutally effective in their goal of inflicting and absorbing casualties. They would send small groups, often just 10 to 20 men, with minimal support, sometimes armed with little more than rifles. These were truly disposable soldiers. Their lives were simply a commodity to be expended for a few more meters of ground. Prigozhin essentially legalized cannon fodder by going into the Russian prisons, offering the lifeline of freedom to thousands of desperate men, many of whom had years or decades left on their sentences, acquiring a virtually unlimited supply of men who were expendable, who had no one to mourn them, and who could be forced to the front lines with ruthless discipline. Ukrainian soldiers recounted a horrifying reality. The first wave would advance, taking heavy fire and falling. But before the defenders could even reload or regroup, another wave would emerge, often stepping directly over the bodies of their fallen comrades, and then another and another.
It didn't stop. It was like a zombie attack. You'd kill 5, 10, 20, and then another group would just appear disappear from the tree line, walking over the dead. Sometimes they didn't even pick up the rifles of their fallen. It was just bodies, a sea of bodies trying to reach our trenches. It was madness.
This was a grim, calculated exchange. Ukrainian ammunition for Russian lives. Prigozhin himself boasted that Bakhmut was designed to be a meat grinder, not just for Ukrainian forces, but a deliberate, strategic attrition of his own men to wear down the enemy's will and resources.
Trenches are effective against artillery because shells mostly kill people with shrapnel, white-hot fragments of metal thrown in all directions when they explode. Trenches protect against this by shielding soldiers from these flying fragments. Trenches also protect against infantry assaults. Attackers are almost completely exposed whilst charging at the trench, whilst defenders are almost completely protected until the last moment. The second tactic was Wagner's human wave assaults. The mercenaries used this tactic for two reasons. First, the trenches, and second, the composition of Wagner's forces. Throughout the battle, Wagner had a ready supply of prison conscripts with barely enough training to operate a rifle, and a small but very elite group of mercenary soldiers. The last thing Yevgeny Prigozhin wanted to do was waste his valuable mercenaries in frontal assaults on the Ukrainian trenches. So, he developed a tactic of sending in the prisoners as cannon fodder. Their job was simply to advance towards the Ukrainians until they got shot at. This almost always resulted in the prisoners getting killed. Casualties in some units topped 70%, but none of that mattered to Prigozhin. What mattered was that, while shooting at the prisoners, the Ukrainians would be forced to reveal their positions. Once Wagner knew where the Ukrainians were, artillery would be called down on top of them, and elite mercenaries dispatched on flanking attacks to take them out. This led to an astonishingly high number of casualties. According to Prigozhin's own figures, 20,000 Wagner men died in the battle, an estimated 17,000 of whom were conscripts. But it also proved effective in its own brutal way. Wagner avoided wasting precious artillery shells, preserved its most valuable troops, and expended its least valuable.
Trench in front of the vehicle! Trench in front of the vehicle! Trench in front of the vehicle! Come on guys, faster!
There.
Going! Sit down. Two more.
No way! Ho ho! Got it. Go ahead. Go. Let's move! Well, good luck. Thank you. We crossed the road slowly. Wreaking hell. Yes! Let's go, let's go, let's go! Come on, come on, come on! Guys, disperse!
Replace 2 people with D4 and D5. Everyone else should go along the queue line.
How's it going, Vlados?
Let's go.
Friend, I'm moving forward.
Come on.
On the line, on the line.
Oh, no way. Come on, come on.
father is in touch. We are still on our way.
60 meters ahead of you. At 12 o'clock, there's a hole on the right where a jerk is sitting. 60 meters.
Right in front of you, about 20 meters away, there's a hole with jerk. To the right. On your direction. Throw a grenade there. Distance 20 meters. Repeating, distance 20 meters.
Yes, like this.
Throw now or when we advance?
Send it now. I have the ability to make adjustments.
Okay, now throw the grenade 5 meters closer.
So this is him on the right.
You threw it too far.
Right into the hole.
Bat, cover the Horan, cover the Horan. Kid, we got a grenade thrown from the left flank.
Nike, change position and await instructions.
He is shouting.
Horan, there's a pit 5 meters to your right.
Throw another one in there.
Grenade.
I'll take position and wait for commands.
It's not for nothing that I played basketball in childhood.
Gentlemen, your final destination is the borough. Stop approximately here on the road. But keep in mind that the jerk is sitting about 40 meters from you, so you can shoot at him or throw grenades if you can reach.
Go to this fucking crossroads. The bastard will be immediately on the right. 2 meters from the turn. You can shoot there in Somali style. Keep in mind that there are 4 damn roads at the intersection, and
move
all
over.
of them need to be covered. Move!
I see a jerk!
The bastard is coming to you, through the trench. Find cover and wait for him.
I see them.
Fuck!
Did you face resistance?
This is Dobrynya, just saw the jerk. He got up and ran back to the island. I opened fire on him from behind. I don't know if he's dead or not. When you get a chance, could you check?
I can't. We're having a drone swap right now. I'll check as soon as I can. How do you hear me?
Raptor, come here, stand here and hit that bastard who's about to get up. He's almost standing at full height. Work on him. Aim for the head, damn it. I'm pulling back and throwing a grenade there. Hurry up, sit here.
Let's go! Faster!
Come on, stand here and cover. Watch out for anyone coming.
Where? Up?
Yeah.
Directly from you, there's a figure.
The jerk runs upstairs. I saw it too.
The bastards climb up to the
This is a
parapet.
fantasy.
Expletive. I see contact. Three fags in front of us, kid. Kid, three fags, about 25 meters.
Throw a grenade. Throw a grenade. Then take cover and scout.
Kid, Nike is on the line. Is there a way to shoot at the bastards in front of us?
Alpha group, take shelter. Alpha group, to the shelter.
To the shelter.
Little one. It fell too far. 20 meters.
Be more specific. Describe in more detail.
In front of us. Bastards. Behind them, it hit about 30 meters.
Well, we've been here for a long time. Oh, out the front. Fantastic. We need to go back. Let's go. What are we doing? Tell me.
Our guys were there. We need to go back.
Along the routes of the first platoon. Help them.
All right, let's go.
Well then.
Okay. Whose turn is it? Mine? Go ahead, Dan.
I'm Kisia. Who else? And where is Raptor?
Where is Raptor? Hey! Raptor! We are heading out! back to where we came from. Come on, stop! Do you need grenades? Come on! Keepish is coming with us. I'm going too. Let's move. Just like that.
Come on, bro.
Come on, bro.
You've been here for a long time, Tom.
Yes.
We're glad to be alive. Crawl or run? Well, go ahead. Okay, right now.
Run, bitch, run, damn it!
All right. Concussed? Ah.
Yes.
Hey, wake up. Concussed? Ah.
All shame.
I got hit just like you. Come on. Come on, brother. Let's wake up. Is the radio not working? Is there no signal here? They say that our commanders noticed you have problems and are trying to find out what's going on. Contact with your guys. Don't worry, our guys are at the front now. You know, so you're not alone here. So I don't know how to help because we have to go.
Correct.
Yeah.
Can you contact Verona and tell her to get in touch with the Americans because they need help with the evacuation? Over.
Got it. Verona Bravo. Copy, copy. The Americans need help with evacuation. Evacuation.
Our transport will arrive soon and pick them up.
Yes, plus, receive. Skeleton, damn.
You hear from him only ribs remain. Oh, are you aspirin chick? Where are you going?
Andrew, come on already. Following me. We are together. Is there something to hide there? Ooh. Come on. Better than an open position here, Kippish. Come on, brother.
Bro, what the... Oh, bro, where did the first platoon go?
I do not know.
They came for the wounded.
Well, there are injured Americans there. You can't reach them properly.
There are 2 heavy, 1 light.
Oh, are you serious?
Bandage them. Full of rifles. We have our wounded. We need to find him. He is close to the enemy. You will find 2 others near the donkey point and take them to the evacuation point.
EE, received. Received. Aspirin to the gate.
In touch.
Hey, there's an injured person in Zone 3 in the unloading area. Send Minotaur to find him. His vehicle is waiting.
Bava, it's bullshit here right now. We can only go very slowly.
Oh, plus, move slowly.
Forgive.
Gradually, yes. Yes, we're not sitting, we're moving. Slowly.
Come on, Raptor.
All done? Let's go then. I'm following you. Oh, we need to keep control. They are already in this grove.
Come on, come on, come on!
Brother, are you from the first platoon?
Raptor, slowly.
Is there a big trench?
Well, damn, twisted my ankle, damn it.
That was quite a fall.
Hold on a moment, guys.
Man, ouch, damn! Man.
Fuck, landed with this too. Let's not lose contact with him. Some guys with blue armbands passed through here.
Yes, so many of them have already been here.
Yes, a couple of hours ago. Yes. Our group was the third assault group to enter. Well, ours. Everything. They went there, right? Everything. Uh-huh.
Oh, loaded, what a mess. Yes, they went there. Bravo! 16, Buster!
Where are the jerks?
The injured person needs evacuation.
Easy.
Yes, plus. Alright, go straight. It's blocked in the shelter. Can't move it. Yes, we're coming. Carter.
It's not penetrable.
That's it, take it, Frank. Come on. Two, two, three.
I am
already
listening.
coming to rush. I can't stand up.
Don't fade. You burn like fire. Come on! Man.
Correctly help. Oh, Slavochka, great. Super. A bit more difficult. He has a serious injury. He helps with his hands. And this one, damn, yes.
Jerks are walking on the road!
Plane is flying. Check carefully.
They're in the trench. Be careful of the bastards. Plus.
Ran across the road into the trench.
Yes, there is a trench across the road. There are enemies there. They will plan to cross the road. Let them be shot.
As autumn gave way to winter in late 2022, the battlefield around Bakhmut was transformed into a frozen wasteland. Heavy rains turned the roads and fields into seas of mud, making mechanized movement nearly impossible. As temperatures dropped, soldiers faced brutal conditions. Ice, snow, and freezing winds. Both sides struggled with the supply shortages and the sheer difficulty of surviving, let alone fighting, in such an environment. Trenches became waterlogged, prone to collapse. Medical evacuation was perilous, and basic living conditions deteriorated sharply. Despite these hardships, fighting remained intense. Russian forces continued their assaults, often at staggering human cost, while Ukrainian defenders adapted to the conditions and continued to hold their ground. As Wagner's forces punched through Bakhmut's outer defences, the battle devolved into an entirely new nightmare. Urban warfare on an unimaginable scale. What was once a vibrant city of over 70,000 became a theatre of systematic, block-by-block destruction. Every street became a kill zone, every building a potential fortress. The intense artillery barrages that pulverised the open fields now turned Bakhmut's concrete and brick into dust and shrapnel. Apartment blocks that once housed families now stood as skeletal husks, their interiors exposed to the elements, serving as grim monuments to their former lives. Urban warfare is always brutal, but Bakhmut was unique. It wasn't just house to house, it was room to room, floor to floor. Artillery, instead of just suppressing, was used to literally demolish structures, creating rubble fields that hindered movement but also offered new defensive positions. The city itself became a weapon. Ukrainian defenders adapted to this hellscape, turning the shattered city into a labyrinth of resistance. They used the ruins to their advantage, creating concealed firing positions in collapsed walls, setting ambushes in basements, and fighting at incredibly close quarters. Inside Bakhmut, there was no safe place. Every corner, every window could be a sniper. The air was thick with concrete dust and the smell of gunpowder, mixed with something else. The smell of everything burning and rotting. You learn to live underground like moles. Above ground, it was just death. We fought for every single building, even if it was just a few walls standing, because if they got that building, they would get the next. Wagner's storm groups continued their relentless push, often sending small, fanatical teams to probe defences, clearing buildings room by agonising room. The fighting was often at grenade range, a brutal close-quarters slugfest where survival depended on speed, aggression and sheer luck. Amidst this apocalyptic landscape, a few brave, desperate civilians clung to life, hiding in basements and improvised shelters. They endured months without power, heat or clean water, facing constant shelling. As the full scale of Wagner's operations in Bakhmut became apparent, so too did a disturbing pattern of alleged atrocities and war crimes. Acts that transcended the brutality of combat and plunged into deliberate depravity. Numerous credible reports from international human rights organisations and UN investigators began to paint a grim picture. These weren't isolated incidents, but alleged systematic violations of international humanitarian law.
What we saw from Wagner in Bakhmut, and in other theatres before it, goes far beyond the fog of war. We've documented consistent patterns of grave breach of the Geneva Conventions. These include the summary execution of prisoners of war, the torture of captives, and a chilling disregard for civilian lives and infrastructure.
In the long, terrible history of the Syrian civil war, a 2017 video of a war crime committed by Russian mercenaries still stands out for its horror. The videotaped torture and murder of Hamidi Buta, a Syrian army deserter who was killed by members of the notorious Russian-led Wagner Group, generated global outrage, as well as a legal case against the paramilitary organisation. The footage of Buta being beaten to death with a sledgehammer before his body was beheaded and set on fire rivaled the worst atrocities publicised by the Islamic State. Yet the film did not horrify everyone who saw it. Among members of the Wagner Group and its supporters, the video of Buta's murder has given a rise to a culture of glorifying violence that is explicitly centred on the symbol of the sledgehammer. On the heels of a symbolic European Union resolution designating Russia as a state sponsor of terrorism, Prigozhin sent a sledgehammer smeared with fake blood to the European Union. The former Wagner mercenaries admitted to killing and torturing dozens of Ukrainian prisoners of war in one of the most detailed first-person accounts of atrocities committed by Russian forces in Ukraine. Alexei Savichev, 49, very good of you, pal, to give your name. SBU will be looking for you. A former Russian convict recruited by Wagner told The Guardian in a telephone interview that he participated in summary executions of Ukrainian prisoners of war during his 6 months of fighting in eastern Ukraine.
We were told not to take any prisoners and just shoot them on the spot.
In one instance, while fighting near the eastern Ukrainian city of Soledar, Savichev said he participated in the killings of 20 Ukrainian soldiers who were surrounded.
We sprayed them with our bullets. It is war, and I do not regret a single thing I did there. If I could, I would go back.
Savichev said that in another episode, with other Wagner fighters, he had killed several dozen injured Ukrainian POWs by tossing grenades into the ditch where they were held near the city Bakhmut in January.
We would torture soldiers too. There weren't any rules.
Savichev's account was first published by the Gulagu.net rights group in an hour and 17-minute long video where he appeared alongside another former Wagner fighter identified as Azamat Uldurov, who also said he had killed civilians, including children, during the battle for Bakhmut.
Она визжит, она маленький ребенок, понимаешь, ей 5-6 там год, я не знаю, 5 лет. А я выстрелил, ты понимаешь, контрольный. Ты понимаешь, я никого не должен был выпустить. Никого. Хотя была команда дата на зачистку, на ликвидацию всех, кто мне стоит на пути.
Кто давал такие приказы?
Ну, блядь, вот смотри, начинаем сверху. У меня был, блядь, Коршун. Айсман, ну, это Сталин. Это первый изначально командир, потом Коршун. Ну, над ними есть Пригожин, который нам, блядь, сказал не дать выхода никому, всех уничтожить. Понимаешь? И мы выполняли приказ.
Даже гражданским, даже детям.
Никого мы не должны были выпустить в тот день. Никого. 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 Еще раз подчеркиваю, никого.
Savichev also provided The Guardian with photographs of 2 medals that he said he received for the Battle of Soledar, a town in eastern Ukraine that Wagner troops captured in early January 2023. His testimony appears to contribute towards a mounting body of evidence that sheds light on the war crimes committed by Russian soldiers in Ukraine. 2 videos emerged showing Russian soldiers apparently beheading Ukrainian prisoners of war. Ukraine's president Volodymyr Zelensky said the world could not ignore the evil footage. How easily these beasts kill. We are not going to forget anything. Neither are we going to forgive the murderers. Yevgeny Prigozhin, head of Wagner, was. Yevgeny Prigozhin said the account of the 2 former Wagner soldiers was a flagrant lie, and that Wagner fighters have never touched and do not touch children. But they're alright though with letting child murderers out and come and fight for you though, ain't you? Stop talking shit. Well, you ain't talking anything anymore, are you, Yevgeny? Savichev said he feared he would face the same consequence as Yevgeny Nuzhin, a convicted murderer recruited by Wagner who surrendered to Ukrainian forces, but was later handed over to Russia and executed.
I was with Wagner and know what they can do to those who speak out,
Savichev said. He said he witnessed multiple summary killings of other Wagner fighters accused by their commanders of disobeying orders or of breaking the code of conduct, including regarding the consumption of alcohol. Savichev said he joined Wagner after Prigozhin visited his IK-12 colony in Voronezh. Prigozhin came to our prison and said that he was looking for killers. He said the regular army was full of wussies who couldn't get the job done. He said he was accepted into Wagner despite his HIV diagnosis. Russia's regular army does not permit soldiers with serious diseases to join its ranks. They do not care if you have HIV or hepatitis, as long as you can kill, he said. No worries if you're just a twisted daywalker fucking scumbag fuck though. That's alright. Hey, it's Mordor. According to Savichev's account, just over 100 prisoners signed up to fight with Wagner. After a 2-week training course, he was sent to the front lines, fighting first at Soledar and after the town's capture in Bakhmut. He said he was placed in small units of 4 that were used as storming troops, who were ordered to launch extremely dangerous assaults on Ukraine's positions. He estimated that of the 100 recruited from his prison, only 21 returned alive. We were basically just meat for our commanders. I still don't know how I survived. No one gave a shit about us. Well, rest assured, Savichev, people give a shit about you now, and they'll be looking for you forever.
Нахуй ты доводишь, дергай как ночью, блядь! Брось его нахуй! Вот так, блядь, надо нахуй! Понимаешь? Точно! Заново нахуй! Да долбоёб! Отъебнёшь ночью жене, блядь! Заново!
The very nature of Wagner as a private military company, often deniable by the state, complicates accountability, but international law is clear. War crimes are war crimes, regardless of who commits them. The challenge is gathering sufficient evidence, bringing perpetrators to justice. The allegations from Bakhmut stand as a grim indictment, not just of a mercenary force, but of a strategy that seemingly embraced inhumanity as a tool of war. These documented reports are not merely statistics. They represent unimaginable suffering and horror.
We'll conclude part 1 here, taking us up to about winter. We'll conclude the rest of the battle. Prigozhin's little social media rants about the Russian Ministry of Defense and the short-lived rebellion.